So I wanted to revisit this dream that I had back in May of 2018. And the reason that I want to reshare it is not just because it was on my old channel and I don't have it anymore, but our sister Lashara Pinkney, she's been talking about this dream that she's had about the moon. I don't remember if she said she saw two moons or if it was just a supermoon, but there were a lot of similarities in her dream and this dream that I had. So I just wanted to revisit this dream and share it with her and share it with you guys, anybody that hasn't heard it yet. I really feel it's important because for whatever reason, it just really seems like the Lord has been showing us dreams about the rapture taking place at the time of us seeing two moons, whatever that means. So, in this dream, it was dark outside, and I could see in the distance New York City. Now, I don't know if the dream was specifically meaning New York City or if it was just symbolic of the world. I don't know what, but I knew in the dream it was New York City. There was a celebration going on, festivities. I could just hear voices and cheering, and there was music and fireworks and a light show. And as I was observing this, I saw some of the fireworks go off, and when they would pop off in the air, they looked like Halloween jack-o'-lanterns. And I saw all around the city Halloween decorations like pumpkins and just all these different Halloween decorations and Halloween themed things all throughout the streets of the city. And I remember thinking in the dream, why do they have Halloween stuff? Because that's so out of place. It was so unseasonal. So, and then at this point in the dream, I knew that I needed to get a sighting of the moon. And I knew that I would have to be climbing up really, really, really high because the moon would be very low down on the horizon. And that's a detail that Loshara mentioned as well. And so I just climbed and climbed up like telephone poles and treetops and whatever I could find in the area around me that had a high vantage point. I climbed to the tip top of that and I looked down in the city and I was shocked because I didn't just see the moon, but I saw two moons. And as always in these dreams, I gasped and I said, "Oh my gosh, there's two moons. It's time for the rapture right now." And I noted here that the second moon that I saw was very faint and dim. And that was a detail that she mentioned as well. And many other people on here have mentioned having dreams about seeing two moons, and one of them is very dim or faint and like kind of like barely there and just not giving off light. Kind of like, sort of like how the moon will appear in the daytime, but in this dream it was nighttime. Like one moon was just a normal glowing yellow moon, and then the other one was just kind of like there. I could see it, but it wasn't lit up, if that makes sense. So I just wrote that it was very faint and dim, and that was something that I'm hearing a lot of you guys describe seeing as well. So I said, "Oh my gosh, it means it's time for the rapture right now." And I got closer to try and take a picture of it. I don't know if I was able to do that or not. And then one of the moons was absolutely huge, massive, like, oh my gosh, in your face, gigantic, huge, orange. I described it as a block of orange cheddar cheese, like a big cheddar cheese wheel. And it was just so huge, and it was so low down on the horizon. And that's something Lashara described as well. and I was just having to climb up higher because the higher I got and looked down on the horizon of the city, the lower down the moon was getting. And I just remember how huge and orange it was, like a very, very orange supermoon. And I wrote here that the moon was getting lower and lower until the treetops covered it up and I couldn't see it anymore. And I remember Lashara talking about having to like peek her head around and kind of maneuver around the trees to try to get a view of the moon. And that's kind of what was going on here. Was I was just trying to like see through the woods or the trees and try to see it because the trees were starting to cover it up. And that's something I've dreamt about in the past before, is kind of seeing the moon go down behind some trees, like a wooded area, until it just like sinks down behind the earth or something until I just can't see it anymore. So that's the dream I had. I think it was like late May 2018. And it just reminded me a lot of what Lashara has been describing lately. So I wanted to share that with her and just kind of revisit that. So let me know what you guys think. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.